gossip and entertainment only. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Sharona here. Happy Sunday. Now, this is going to be a lengthy read, and we're going to talk about the country singer Wynonna Judd and her daughter Grace Kelly. Now, when I saw the article, the headline, and it goes Grace Kelly, daughter, blah blah blah. I'm like, Grace Kelly, isn't that a movie star from like the 50s or 60s? I think, and I'm like, what? What's going on? But then it's Wynonna Judd's daughter. So this daughter is coming out. She is writing a book. I think the book is completed, and she said she wants to tell her story. Now, she's not in a good place with her mom, and she said, the quote to the Bible, the truth shall set you free. So that's the Bible quote, the truth shall set you free, sorry. And now she wants to speak her truth through the book. Now, this is a girl that is from family, fame, and wealth. And, people might say your parents, or your mom is wealthy, your grandmother is wealthy, your aunt is wealthy. These people are human beings. Celebrities are human beings. And I think sometimes we forget that because all we see is fame, fortune, big houses, private jets, concert, jewelry, fashion. And we don't realize that behind the scene, they are living the life of normal people. So everything is money. Does money help? Yes, it does. Definitely. Nobody wants to be poor or nothing like that. But it's how you navigate with that money. And for a celebrity kid, as like I said, I'm sure she, anything she wanted, she could have. But if she's not raised to work hard for what she wants, even as a child, that's why you have chores, right? You tell your kids, clean your room, you get $1. And, we can't always blame it on the parents because the parents can do a perfect job raising their kids with respect, they're mannerable, everything like that. But when they go into the world where they are around people and influences, if they're not strong enough, then they can cross over from the teachings that you showed them in home, taught them, to something that's vaguely different, and you're wondering why. Now, this daughter, we're going to read from the People magazine, and it sounds like she went through a lot when it comes to doing illegal substances. And she was allegedly, I'm going to use the word allegedly, her stepbrother and her stepfather had their ways with her, and that the mom knew, and she did not do anything until something came out about the stepfather. I don't know if he was stealing money or what was going on, and that's when she reacted. She did not react to her child telling her stepdad was doing this. So, as a child telling your parent and them not believing you, and again, it goes to with the relationship you had with your parent. Because I can't just imagine your child telling you and you brush it off as you're a liar, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to think if you and your child are close, raised a certain way, then when you say it to your mom, is she going to have doubts? Probably, because you're accusing your stepdad, whomever. But then it's her job to say, this is my child. I love my child. She would not do this. Again, if it's a good relationship. You have those, parent and kid relationship where it's just so nasty and ugly that, the kid can say anything as a lie to get back at the step parent or in-laws, just to, just to make up stuff. So that do happen. But we're talking about this situation right here with Wynonna and her daughter Grace, on if there was a bond for her to tell her mom that and for her mom not to believe. That goes that, something was going on in that relationship, why Wynonna didn't jump at her daughter and go, I believe you, let's do this. So we're going to start with the article. It says, Wynonna Judd's daughter Grace Says singer has done some messed up stuff, but I've forgiven her. Judd's daughter, Grace Kelly, opens up to people about her difficult childhood and being at peace for the first time. Wynonna's daughter, Grace Kelly, is ready to talk about her deeply troubled past and her journey forward. This is the first time in my life that I've genuinely been at peace, Kelly, 29, tells people in an exclusive new interview. Now, she's just 29. She is young. Wow. After a difficult 2024 that included 3 arrests, a stint in jail, Kelly says she is now healthy and sober and has settled into a routine at home in Charlottesville, Virginia. I wake up every day at the same time. I make breakfast. I send my boyfriend on his way to work. I go to work. I go to my Bible study. And it's just a peaceful, simple life, and I'm happy. Getting to a place of peace has been a challenging journey for Kelly, whose father is Judd's first husband, Harsh Kelly III. The couple divorced 2 years after 2 years in 1998. In recent weeks, Kelly has spoken publicly for the first time about her traumatic childhood, which allegedly included abuse that at the hands of both her former stepbrother and stepfather, and a complicated relationship with her Grammy-winning mother. She's done some stuff, messed up stuff, Kelly said of Judd, 61. I just never had a voice to talk about any of this. I don't want to stir the pot, but ultimately, the Bible says the truth will set you free. So I'm here to tell the truth and talk about it because I want to share my story. Today, Judd has custody of Kelly's 3-year-old daughter, Kalia? With whom she was pregnant while she was in prison on a probation violation stemming from a 2016 D-possession charge. Illegal substance. You know the D1, DRUG. Judd has previously spoken about her bond with Kalia and said in a May interview that the child helped her realize there is life after death, following the S-word of her mom and former musical partner, country icon Naomi Judd, at age 76 in 2022. Now, this is the daughter who has been traumatized by her mom, her stepbrother and stepfather, and now this woman has custody of your 3-year-old daughter, Kalia. And it sounds like, it would sound like Wynonna, I'm just going to call her Judd. It's like she's given a second chance of being a good mom to her granddaughter because she wasn't that to her daughter. Okay, let's continue. Kelly alleges that she was abused as a child by her stepfather and stepbrother. In a July interview with Charlottesville, The Daily Progress, Kelly alleged that D.R. Roach, to whom Judd was married from 2003 to 2007, so 4 years, abused her when she was 10 years old. Roach was arrested and charged with sexual battery against a minor in 2007, though his victim was never publicly identified. Judd filed for divorce shortly after, saying in a statement at the time she was obviously devastated by the situation. Now, Kelly alleges that the first time she was abused as a child was actually by Roach's son, starting when she was 6 years old and continuing every night for 3 years. Wow. She said it ended when her stepbrother told on himself in counseling, and Judd promptly sent him out of the house and to a wilderness program. See? Oh, he said it in counseling. So I wonder if when he was going through counseling, he was like, I was sneaking in my stepsister's room every night and having sex. Now, where does the confidentiality fall when it comes to therapists and their patients? And doctors and their patients, lawyers and their patients, they're saying we can't, tell on our patients, or we can't disclose what our patients have done. But is this something that you can go and report to the police? What if your patient said, I accidentally killed someone, or I accidentally shoved someone in front of a train, or, if you get what I'm saying? Because she said he outed himself basically in therapy, it would sound like. What's the word she used? In counseling. If you're a doctor listening, then let me know if it's, what's the word they call it? If you go and you tell your therapist a story which ended in someone's life being taken, or just something that was illegal, do they have the right to go back and inform the police and then get you arrested? Wow. Let's get back to the story. Still, Kelly alleges that when Roach began abusing her, she told Judd, and the singer put the family in counseling for weeks, forcing a young Kelly to sit face to face with her abuser. So instead of kicking her husband out of the house, the way she did with the son, and sent him to a wilderness program, she wanted that little girl to live the trauma staring at that man's face in counseling. Because remember, with the son, it started at age 6, but with the father, it started at age 10. And you wanted that 10-year-old to be around her abuser? Really? So you did not believe your 10-year-old? Why would you put your 10-year-old face to face with her abuser when she told you this? Now, did the counselor know about this? Because I don't think the counselor would have approved to have her there with the person who was abusing her. And at that point, the counselor, same with the brother, the counselor would have to tell, right? So they were there doing counseling, but never brought up the abuse to the counselor. A 10-year-old. Wow. Ever since that happened, that's when my mom started looking at me differently. She treated me different. I remember saying, Mom, please don't make me go. And she would be ripping me out of the car, says Kelly. Being that young and watching her hug and kiss this man goodbye after every session, it's like, wait a minute, where does your loyalty lie? I'm your child, so that's the ultimate betrayal for me. Exactly. A rep for Judd did not respond to people's requests for comment. Ultimately, the facts are, when I told her about the abuse, she put us in counseling, says Kelly. After it came out in the media is when she filed for divorce. Her action speaks for herself. Wow. So earlier I was saying that probably you were mixed up in something and that's why she put it out. But no, this is when it came out in the media. Now the world knows. So she's like, oh my God, if the world knows that I'm still with this man, not believing my child, then, that's going to be a problem. So that's what it took for her to let go of this man and believe her child. Wow. Kelly says her relationship with her mom, Wynonna Judd, worsened as the years went on. Of course. Because like she said, seeing your mom kissing, hugging your abuser and did not want to believe you, of course. You lost respect for the woman who gave you life, who was supposed to protect you, and she didn't. As the rift between mother and daughter grew, so did Kelly's struggle. She alleges that Judd had her snatched, blindfolded, and dropped off at various facilities over the years when she was a teenager. I can't just keep saying all this crazy stuff about my mom. People are going to think I'm just making this up, Kelly says. but that was literally my childhood. Eventually, she claims she got involved with selling D simply to pay her bills, which sent her on a downward spiral that would last years. I'm not blaming my mom for my mistakes as an adult, but when I was a child, yeah, I am, she says. Because she did that, I think she wanted me to feel pain. It's like imagine me in a pool with weights tied around my neck. It's like she's throwing more on top of me, but saying, keep swimming, you're strong, you got this. Wow. While Judd, who is also mom to son Elijah 30 with ex-husband Art Kelly III, has not spoken extensively about Kelly's struggles, she did call her daughter the strongest Judd woman in our history in a 2020 interview. So she has two sons. So she has Grace and she has Elijah. So this is Wynonna. In the May documentary, The Judd Family, Truth Be Told, which aired in May, Judd said that she herself had been emmed as a child at 12 years old. Oh my gosh. So this documentary was made, I think it's May 2020. Kelly says her life began to turn around in 2024 after she stole a church van. In October 2024, Kelly was arrested for stealing a van belonging to a Charlottesville church ran by Pastor Kent Hunt and his wife Megan. She later took a plea deal for the arrest and spent 6 weeks in jail. But instead of being angry with her, the church from which she stole the van embraced her with open arms, welcoming her into their community and baptizing her. We talk every day, and Megan, like, Grace, you are not, and you never will be evil. You're the sweetest person we know, says Kelly. When I came up here, I found people that believed in me, and I found the goodness of God. That's when everything changed for me. Although she says she is finally feeling settled in Virginia, her 3-year-old daughter, Kalia, remains a sadness for Kelly. Judge currently has custody of Kalia, and Kelly says it's been a couple of years since she's been able to see her daughter. Now, her daughter is 3 years old, and she said couple of years. So Judd had to have the daughter when she was 1 or before she turned 1. And, if she straightened her life out, hopefully this will be a fresh new start for her to get reconnected with her daughter. And hopefully Judd does not put up a fight. Because if she's proven to show that she's better fit, she is capable of taking care of her own child. Hopefully, it starts slow. It starts in steps, right? Like, supervised visitation, like every other weekend, supervised till eventually it can go where she could be alone with her daughter and maybe get custody back of her child. It says Kelly claims that Judd, who she says last reached out in July to ask about her work schedule, currently has a restraining order in place against her that covers both her and Kalia, leaving Kelly unable to speak with her daughter. Wow, restraining order. Okay. While Kelly's hopeful for a reunion, she is doubtful one will ever happen. What? She maintains a Facebook account for her daughter that she's been updating regularly to show Kalia just how hard she's working so that the young girl can grow up and realize my mom does not want me. If you're poor, you don't stand a chance, she says. I work hard. I fight for my life every day. I go to the food bank every week, and my mom, she's got so much money. She's got my child and basically said, screw you. Wow. So she's saying because she doesn't have the money to fight her mom, she might not see her daughter again. Wow. Hopefully not. Hopefully, Wynonna, she will realize that it's not your second chance at being a good mother. You tried, you messed up, leave it alone. Your daughter was struggling. Now she's in a good place and she wants her daughter with her. And, there has to be more going on, because if the court sees that she is trying, she is clean from any abusive substances, there's no, police record, no violence whatsoever, then it shouldn't be hard for her to get, like I said, start with supervised visitation. So let's continue. Despite the extreme complex history, Kelly said she would for sure be open to mending her relationship with her mother, and if she could speak to her today, would relay the message of a Bible verse: "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor." All things are possible, and I pray that she genuinely has a change of heart. I've forgiven her, she says. I've healed. Wow. I've forgiven my mom. But of course, there's still a part of me inside that wants to tell my side of the story because I'm being portrayed as something I'm not. Kelly's currently shopping her memoir and says that writing the book is what got her through prison. It's called Pronoia? No, not. Pronoia. Pronoia? And she says it's named after the idea that the universe is conspiring in your favor. She asks that anyone who'd like to speak with her about her book or those with shared experiences reach out to her at Panora. I'll put it at gmail.com. I want to believe that the universe is here for me. I have to believe that. I got to have hope, she says. Nothing's going to change until you truly change your heart. And be the grace of God, I'm able to have a changed heart today. Oh, that's sad. Hopefully, hopefully she will get to see her daughter again. Like I said, just in steps, gradual steps, visitation, stuff like that. And, Wynonna needs to address it. Because her daughter is calling her name, saying she wasn't a good mother, even though she has forgiven her. She needs to well, she doesn't have to, but it'd be nice to know why she's keeping the 3-year-old away from her mother. And why would she want that for her daughter? Again, she was given a chance to be a mother to her daughter, and she just wasn't. And she can't go on now with this 3-year-old thinking I have a second chance at being a mom, right? It's sad. It's sad to see, you carry your baby for 9 months or ever how long, and the innocence of a child, for it to go from such innocence to now where it's just, there's dislike between mother and daughter, or now she's saying she's forgiven and she wants to mend, but the mother, seems like she's not willing. And then to come out and say you're writing a memoir, probably the mother's pissed because now you're gonna tell us more, and it's like, what could be worse than your child being essayed by her stepbrother, stepfather, did time in jail, taking, drugs to now, she's been through it. She's been through that journey. And she's also said that she's not blaming her mom for her adult years, But because of what she went through as a child, then of course that led her to the wrong path. Again, she's found her way back. Hopefully, she will get to see her daughter again. Start with visitation. So, gossipers, what are your thoughts? Yes, just tell me your thoughts. As always, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, my voice was not, what's the word? Someone told me my voice is terrible. And you have some people, they can't watch themselves on TV or they can't listen to themselves. So, but yeah, whatever. Okay, gossipers. As always, please like, share, subscribe. Let's grow our channel. And again, thank you for watching and listening.